Hello students, in this class we are going to discuss about the how to calculate the change in entropy. How to calculate the change in entropy during the mixing of ideal gases. Okay, let's suppose we are considering the two glass bulbs. Okay, in the left hand side glass bulb there is a first ideal gas, on the right hand side there will be a second ideal gas, and between them there is a stop cock is there. Okay, and with a negligible volume of small narrow tube connected both the glass bulbs. So we can use the ideal gas equation, that is called PV is equal to nRT. Okay, now here number of moles in the left hand side bulb N1 and in the right hand side N2. Left hand side volume V1, right hand side volume V2, and what we are considering, pressure and temperature is constant. That means this is isothermal process and also isobaric process. Okay, pressure is remains constant and also temperature. Okay, now what is the mole fraction? Given number of moles by total number of moles. Given number of moles N1 divided by total number of moles N1 plus N2. This is the mole fraction of gas 1. And come to gas 2, mole fraction X2, given number of moles N2 by total moles N1 plus N2. Okay, now you see in this ideal gas equation, pressure is constant, temperature is also constant, R is itself gas constant, so volume is directly proportional to number of moles. Okay, instead of mole fraction, shall I consider the volume fraction? Yes, because number of moles proportional to here volume. Now what is the isothermal process? Change in entropy of a system, delta S system is equal to NR ln V final by V initial, final volume by initial volume. Okay, now this expression is applying to gas 1. So change in entropy in the first gas, that will be number of moles N1 into R into natural logarithm ln final volume after removing the stopcock. What will be the total final volume? That will be V1 plus V2, because this is the initial, this is the V1 volume and this is the V2 volume. We know gases are spontaneously intermixing. That means gas 2 will comes to left hand side bulb, and from the glass 1 bulb, from the left hand side glass bulb, gas 1 will be goes to the right hand side, and they are uniformly intermixing and they will establish a equilibrium. Okay, now the final volume V1 plus V2, initial volume is V1. Okay, now this is nothing but 1 upon x1, and similarly you see 1 upon x1 shall write log of 1 by x shall write minus log x. Okay, so next second gas, similarly second gas, number of moles N2, gas constant R, natural logarithm, final volume V1 plus V2, and initial volume is V2, because the initial volume of the left right hand side glass bulb will be the V2. Okay, now here we will get minus N2 R ln x2. So this is the equation 1, this will be equation 2, equation 1 corresponding to change in the gas 1 entropy, and equation 2 corresponding to change in the entropy of a gas 2. Now here total change in the entropy after mixing of these two gases. If you open the stop cock between the two glass bulbs, these two gases, what they do are, they do intermixing. After intermixing, definitely entropy changes, that means increases, the randomness increases. So that's why we are adding the entropy change of gas 1 and entropy change of gas 2. Okay, so by taking the common capital R, you will get the minus R minus capital R, N1 ln x1, N2 ln x2. So natural logarithm, to convert into base 10, we have to multiply with 2.303. So this is the general formula to calculate the delta S total of a intermixing of two or more ideal gases. So this will be the minus R sigma, that is the summation N1 ln x1. So I am taking Ni log xi. Okay, here what is the base natural logarithm? So that's why I am writing the base E here. Okay, otherwise there is a one more formula we can use. The second formula, delta S total will be equal to N total minus N total into R sigma Ni logarithm of xi to the base e. Okay. Now here, if you see n total, what is the mole fraction? Given moles by total moles. If you take the common in all these terms, there will be a common in the denominator n total. So n total will be gets cancelled. Are you getting my point? Now, one more calculation of change in entropy during the phase transformation. What is the meaning of a phase transformation? That means when a solid will converted into a liquid, otherwise a liquid will be converted into a gas or vice versa. It is a phase transformation. Okay. Now definitely during the phase transformation entropy changes. So let's suppose we are assuming solid and liquid. There is a equilibrium. Okay. When a solid converted into a liquid, obviously entropy change in entropy become positive, because from solid to liquid the randomness disorderness increases, thereby entropy increase. Okay. Now here we know from solid to liquid it is a endothermic reaction. Yes, because solid absorb the heat energy from the surroundings and it will be converted into the liquid. So here the amount of enthalpy which is absorbed by the system, that is the solid substance, is called enthalpy of fusion. What is the delta H here? Enthalpy of fusion. Enthalpy of fusion. Now here the enthalpy of fusion, it is a positive value. That means this is a endothermic reaction. This is heat energy required reaction. Are you getting my point? Now all these things will be happening at a constant temperature. What is the constant temperature here? Melting point. Okay. And obviously the atmospheric pressure will be 1 atmosphere. Okay. Now what is the delta S? That will be equal to Q reversible by T. So whatever the heat exchanging here, nothing but enthalpy of fusion. So that's why I am writing delta HF. What is the delta HF? Enthalpy of fusion. Are you getting my point? The best example we have ice and water system. Do you know ice and water both are exist at 273 Kelvin temperature? It is also nothing but 0 degree Celsius temperature. And obviously the atmospheric pressure will be 1 atm. Okay. Now ice and water both are exist in the dynamic equilibrium at 273 Kelvin. Okay. Now what will be the enthalpy of fusion of 1 mole of ice? That will be 6 kilojoule per mole. So this is a experimental data. It must be given in the question. Okay. Now here, to calculate the change in entropy of the system, what is the formula here? Del Q reversible upon T. Q reversible nothing but enthalpy of fusion. So enthalpy of fusion, how many kilojoules? 6 kilojoules. So I am converting into joules. That's why 6 into 1000, 6000 by the constant temperature, that is the melting point of the ice or freezing point of the water. Both are same. So divided by 273. So finally we will get approximately 22 joule per mole per Kelvin. Okay. Suppose this is for 1 mole of a system. Suppose if the water molar mass is 18, so dividing by 18, that means 22 upon 18, you will get approximately 1.22. This will be joule per Kelvin per gram. Joule per Kelvin per gram. So this is in terms of 1 gram of a ice to become water, and this will be 1 mole of a ice to become water. What will be the change in the entropy? 22 joule per mole per Kelvin, otherwise 1.22 joule per Kelvin per gram. So this is very important question. Okay. And next one more. What is the meaning of a enthalpy of a fusion? It is the amount of heat energy required to convert the 1 mole of a solid into a 1 mole of a liquid at a constant temperature known as a melting point and the atmospheric pressure. The well-known example, ice and water system. If you want to convert the 1 mole of a ice into 1 mole of a water, how much of heat energy required? 6 kilojoules per mole at a constant temperature, that is a melting temperature. Okay. Now at a constant temperature, how much of heat energy required to convert the 1 mole of a solid into 1 mole of a liquid at a atmospheric pressure is known as enthalpy of fusion. Enthalpy of fusion. Okay. And one more definition, enthalpy, that is the latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion. It is nothing but the same definition, but here corresponding to 1 mole of a solid, heat is corresponding to 1 gram of a solid. Are you getting my point? It is the heat energy required to convert the 1 gram of a solid into 1 gram of a liquid. That is very important. Now that means if you divide the enthalpy of a fusion divided by molar mass of the substance, then you will get the latent heat of fusion. That means per gram of a substance. That means for 1 gram of a substance, how much of heat energy required to convert the 1 mole of a solid into 1 mole of a liquid at constant temperature, that is called melting point, and atmospheric pressure is known as a latent heat of fusion, okay. Now you see what is the latent heat of enthalpy of fusion of ice, that will be 6 kilojoule. Are you getting my point? 6 kilojoule, nothing but 6000 joule. Now divided by what I am doing, molar mass of water or ice will be 18. So finally you will get how much of value? Roughly 334 joule per gram. Are you getting my point? Now the second phase transition, that is called liquid to gas. This phenomena is called evaporation or vaporization. Here the amount of heat energy required is called enthalpy of vaporization. What it will call? Enthalpy of vaporization. It is also endothermic process. That's why the amount of heat energy required will be positive. Remember, this equilibrium will be established at a constant temperature known as a boiling temperature or boiling point, and the surrounding pressure obviously 1 atmosphere. Now to calculate the change in entropy of a system, the basic formula will be Q reversible by T. Here the Q will be equal to the enthalpy of vaporization, short notation delta HV divided by T. What is the T? Boiling temperature. Here what is the T? Here freezing temperature. Here in the denominator temperature will be the melting point or freezing point. Here in this liquid and gas equilibrium, in the denominator the temperature will be the boiling temperature, okay. Best example, water and its vapor will coexist at 100 degrees Celsius. Do you know at 100 degrees centigrade water and steam both are exist in the dynamic equilibrium, okay. Now for such purpose, at 100 degrees Celsius or 373 Kelvin temperature and atmospheric pressure, how much of heat energy required to convert the 1 mole of a water into a 1 mole of a vapor? 40.66 kilojoule per mole. This is nothing but enthalpy of vaporization, okay. So now I am calculating the change in entropy during the phase transformation of a liquid into a vapor, especially water into a steam. So 40.66 kilojoule upon temperature of that is the constant temperature, that is the boiling temperature 373 Kelvin. So you will get 109 joule per Kelvin per mole. If you divide with molar mass 18, you will get 6.05 joule per Kelvin per gram. Okay. Now you see what is the entropy change during the phase transformation of a solid to liquid? For water system 22 joule, but from liquid to vapor you see 109. That means from solid to liquid entropy increases, change in entropy. From liquid to gas further there will be a large increase in the entropy because increasing of the randomness of the system. Now what is the definition of a enthalpy of vaporization? Again, it is the amount of heat energy required to convert the 1 mole of a liquid into a 1 mole of a vapor at a constant atmospheric pressure and also constant temperature, that is called boiling temperature or boiling point of the liquid. Okay, we have well-known example water and vapor. What will be the enthalpy of vaporization of 1 mole of a water? 40.66 kilojoule per mole. Okay, now if it is expressed for 1 gram of a substance, that is called latent heat of this is vaporization, not fusion. This is called latent heat of vaporization. This is what? Latent heat of vaporization. What is the definition of latent heat of vaporization? It is the amount of heat energy required to convert the 1 mole of a liquid into a 1 gram of a, not 1 mole, 1 gram of a liquid into a 1 gram of a vapor at the constant temperature, that is called boiling temperature, and surrounding constant atmospheric pressure. Latent heat of vaporization to calculate, again the total molar, that is the enthalpy of vaporization of a liquid divided by the molar mass of the liquid. So you will get the latent heat of vaporization, that is called LV. Okay. Now for liquid, water and its vapor, what is the enthalpy of vaporization of 1 mole of a water? That will be 40.66. Okay, kilojoule per mole. So I am converting into joule divided by, what I am trying to do here, divided by molar mass. So you will get the latent heat of vaporization, which is nothing but 2.26 kilo. Actually it is in the kilojoule, so no need to multiply with 1000. So directly we can write 2.26 kilojoule per gram. Are you getting my point? Now one more definition is there. Enthalpy of sublimation. What is the meaning of a sublimation? When a solid on heating, it is directly converted into, when a solid on heating, it is directly converted into vapor. It is directly converted into what? Vapor, without condensing to the liquid. Such compounds are called sublimizing compound. What are the example for sublimizing compounds? What are the example for sublimizing compounds? Number 1, camphor. Number 2, benzoic acid. Number 3, iodine. Number 4, ammonium salts. These are the general example for the sublimizing compounds. What is the definition of a sublimation? It is a process of conversion of a solid directly into vapor without condensing to give liquid. It is also endothermic reaction, heat energy required. But here there are 2 steps involved. First of all, solid will convert it into liquid, that is called enthalpy of vaporization. Again the liquid will convert it to the vapor, that is called enthalpy of fusion, that is the solid to liquid. And second one, enthalpy of vaporization, that is liquid to vapor. Okay. Now what about the entropy change during a chemical reaction? Let's suppose capital A and capital B, 2 reactants, and the stoichiometry will be small a and small b, and C and D, capital letter C and D corresponding to products, and their stoichiometry are number of moles small d and small c. Okay. Now what will be the change in entropy during a course of a chemical reaction? The total entropy of the products minus of total entropy of the reactants. Here what are the products here? C and D. So entropy of C and the number of moles of C into entropy of a C plus number of moles of a D into entropy of a D minus of number of moles of A into entropy of A plus number of moles of B into entropy of the B. Okay. So this is very important during the chemical reaction. If you want to find the entropy change, then immediately we have to remember the total entropy of products minus of total entropy of the reactants. That will be given in the question. Okay. Now one important conclusion here, we are discussing entropy changes or increases, that means directly proportional to expansion. Do you know during the expansion gases try to occupy large volume, so due to which the randomness increases, that means during the expansion of a gas entropy increases. Next, dissolution. When any salt, let's suppose we are dissolving ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride is a solid substance. When ammonium chloride is dissolved in water, how it dissociated? As a ammonium aqueous ion as well as chloride anion. So in this reaction what happens? 1 mole of a solid substance will be dissociated into 2 particles. Here number of ions increases, randomness increases, entropy also increases. So during the dissolution, if you any solid substance, when it is dissolved in the water, immediately number of particles increases, thereby randomness increases, so entropy increases during the dissolution. Next, combustion. In the combustion also, number of gaseous moles of carbon dioxide especially and the water vapor is also formed. So due to which during the combustion entropy increases. Evaporation. Evaporation is a conversion of a liquid into a vapor. So randomness increases, entropy also increases. Now 1 by condensation. Condensation, that is the reverse of the evaporation. During the condensation, what happens? The vapor will undergo condensation to give liquid. Okay. So in the vapor form there will be more randomness, but whereas in the liquid form the randomness decreases, entropy decreases. That's why entropy is inversely proportional to condensation and entropy is inversely proportional to crystallization. Now you see, dissolution and crystallization, these are extremely two opposite phenomena. Okay, let's suppose in the solution of ammonium chloride, let's suppose we have ammonium ions and chloride ions in the solution. Let's suppose, now what I am trying to do, I am crystallizing the solution, so that's why we will get the ammonium chloride crystal. Now in this reaction what happens, number of particles from left to right, if you see, decreases, thereby randomness decreases, so entropy decreases. That's why there is a reciprocal, that is the inversely proportional. Okay, that is the crystallization. Next to compression. During the compression what happens, volume decreases, so volume decreases, randomness decreases, entropy decreases. During the expansion entropy increases, during the compression decreases. During the dissolution entropy increases, during the crystallization entropy decreases, during the evaporation entropy increases, during the condensation entropy decreases. Okay, now here we are going to discuss some numericals regarding the calculation of entropy. Okay, change. Question number 86. Entropy is a measure of disorderness, randomness of a system. This is directly basic question. Next question. The entropy of the universe. The entropy of universe always try to increase. The entropy of a universe always try to increase or to move in towards maximum. If any event occurs in the nature, that means entropy of a universe keeping on going on increasing towards maximum value. Are you getting my point? So this will be again the first option. Okay. Now the next question, that will be question number 88. The value of delta S is negative for which process? You see, burning of a rocket fuel, just now I told you burning of a substance, entropy increases. Okay, that means change in entropy positive. Dissolution of a sugar also, dissolution of a sugar or salt, whatever the substance dissolved in the water, definitely the number of particles increases, thereby randomness increases, change in entropy positive. Sublimation of iodine, yes, solid become vapor, definitely delta S greater than 0, that is positive. Freezing of water, yes, you see water freezing, that means if you see liquid water, when it is freezes to solid water, that is called ice. Here what happens, randomness decreases, randomness decreases, so entropy decreases, so change in entropy negative, change in entropy what, negative, that will be the option number 4. Okay, now the next question, question number 89. In the question number 89, which of the following has highest entropy? Mercury is a liquid metal, hydrogen is a diatomic molecular gas, water is a liquid, and graphite is a crystalline allotropic form of carbon. Okay, this is a allotropy of carbon. Okay, now out of all these 4 options, you see which is a gaseous substance, that will be the dihydrogen. So that's why in dihydrogen there is a more randomness, more degree of freedom. That's why the H2 gas has the highest entropy among all these substances. Are you getting my point? Next to question number 90. Entropy change for the adiabatic reversible process is, entropy changing for the reversible adiabatic process. We know for reversible adiabatic process, What is the definition of adiabatic process? No heat exchanges between system and surrounding. So Q value 0. That means delta S system will be equal to, let's suppose system Q reversible by T. That means Q 0. That means delta S system 0. Simultaneously delta surrounding is also 0. Are you getting my point? No heat exchanges between system and surrounding. So entropy change for the adiabatic reversible process, question number 90, will be equal to 0. Okay. Now question number 91. In the question number 91, which of the following statement is incorrect? The entropy of a isolated system increases in a irreversible process. Yes, in a irreversible process, what happens? Change in entropy positive. Change in entropy positive. That's why this reaction occurs only in one direction. Okay. In a isolated system, the entropy of isolated system increases in a irreversible process. That statement is true. Second statement, the entropy of an isolated system remains unchanged in a reversible process. Now, unchanged in the reversible process. In a reversible process, we know delta S system equal to minus Q by T. Let's suppose delta S surrounding plus Q by T. So, this isolated system entropy unchanged. Okay, it's because it is isolated system, no heat exchanges between system and surrounding, and no matter exchanges between system and surrounding. Okay. Now, the second statement is also true. Come to the third statement, delta S system as well as delta S surrounding are negative quantities. So, this is not the true statement, because if the delta S system is negative, then delta S surrounding should be positive, or vice versa. Because if the system loses energy, surrounding has to gain. Otherwise, if the surrounding loses the heat energy, then system has to gain. So, both should be opposite sign, but they do not have same quantity, that is the same negative sign. Okay. And entropy of a universe can never decrease. Yes, entropy of a universe always try to increase. So never decrease means always increase. So statement 4 is also correct. So incorrect statement is the third option. Now question number 92. In the question number 92, what is the reaction given? H2O liquid, H2O gas. At which temperature is given? 373 Kelvin. Do you know at 100 degrees Celsius, liquid water and vapor, that is the steam, both are exist in the dynamic equilibrium, that will be the 373 Kelvin temperature and atmospheric pressure. This is the equilibrium process. Now the important thing is, the forward reaction is endothermic reaction, energy required. That means in the forward direction, system try to absorb the heat energy required. Heat energy absorption occurs, that means plus Q. That means the system, delta S system will be plus Q by T. That means it will be always greater than 0. But it is a reversible process. In a reversible process, delta S total will be equal to 0. Yes or no? To equal the delta S total value 0, that means delta S system will be equal to minus of delta S surrounding. Yes or no? So that only the total delta S system plus surrounding will be equal to 0. That means delta S surroundings should be equal to minus Q by T. That means less than 0. So system delta S greater than 0 and surrounding delta S will be less than 0. But the overall delta S total should be equal to 0. Why? Because it is a reversible process. Which process? Reversible process. Are you getting my point? So this is the second option. Now come to question number 93. In the question number 93, which of the following statements are correct? In a reversible process, delta S system is always 0. In a reversible process, delta S system, delta S surroundings may be 0. In a cyclic process, delta S system is always 0. In a reversible process, delta S total is 0. Now here, there are two types of reversible processes. There are two types of reversible process. Number 1, isothermal. Number 2, adiabatic. Okay, so how many types of reversible processes here I am writing? 2 types of the reversible processes. Number 1, isothermal reversible. Number 2, adiabatic reversible. Remember, in both the cases total delta S total will be 0. But the thing is, in isothermal, delta S system, let's suppose system loses the heat energy, so minus Q upon T. Then surrounding has to absorb the heat energy, that means plus Q upon T. That means overall delta S total, nothing but delta S system plus delta S surrounding. So what will be the total change in entropy of the universe or delta S system plus delta S surrounding? Equal to 0. Equal to 0. Are you getting my point? Now come to right hand side. In adiabatic process, no heat exchanges between the system and surrounding. Yes or no? That means delta S system will be equal to 0. Delta S surroundings will be equal to 0. So delta S total will also equal to 0, because 0 plus 0 will be equal to again 0. Are you getting my point? So in both the cases, if you carefully observe, the total change in entropy will become 0. But the thing is, in isothermal reversible process, delta S system minus Q by T, surroundings plus Q by T, or vice versa. Okay, but in adiabatic, delta S system 0, delta S surrounding will be 0, and total will be 0. Now the first option, in a reversible process, delta S system is always 0. So always 0, that means it is only delta S system will be 0 corresponding to adiabatic. It is not corresponding to isothermal. So always means this statement will be the incorrect statement. This statement will be the incorrect statement. Question number 93. Now come to second option. In a reversible process, delta S system, delta S surrounding may be 0. That means this is explaining the adiabatic condition. Maybe, not compulsory. So statement 2 is correct statement. Next, statement 3. In a cyclic process, delta S is always 0. Yes, in a cyclic process, do you know entropy is a state function? Entropy is a state function. We know in a cyclic process, the initial state and final state will be same. That means the change in the entropy will be 0 in case of a cyclic process only. In case of a cyclic process only. So statement 3 is correct. Now come to the statement 4. In a reversible process, delta S total is 0. Yes, 100% it is correct. Whether it is isothermal or whether it is adiabatic, the total entropy change value becomes 0. Here there are 3 options are correct. What are the correct options? 2, 3, 4. So this is a multiple choice question. So we have 3 options are correct. That will be the second option, third option, and fourth option. Okay. Now come to the next question. That is the question number 94. In the question number 94, on boiling of an egg, what will be the entropy? So in this question, most of the students, what they think, so in egg, what happens? The liquid component will be present. Okay, that is the egg protein. While boiling of egg, the liquid will be solidified. You will get a precipitate in the egg. That means the solid is forming from the liquid. That means randomness decreases. So entropy has to be decreased. But that is incorrect. While boiling of an egg, the entropy of the boiled egg will be increases. This is very, 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 very important. Once again, I am repeating. While boiling of an egg, generally students think the liquid becomes solid. That means randomness decreases. So entropy has to be decreased. But this statement, this thinking is incorrect. Actually, what happens during the boiling of an egg? On boiling of an egg, do you know egg is a protein? Entropy of the boiled egg increases. This is the reason, because the denaturation of the helical structure of a protein. So protein The yellow color region of a egg protein having a three-dimensional structure. While heating, the three-dimensional structure will be collapsed. This is denaturation of a protein, and the helical structure will be collapsed, and it is more complicated, and it become random coiled structure. That means random coiled structure means the disorderness increases. Actually, in the raw egg, what happens? There will be a less disorderness. But when we are heating, when we are giving the energy, the helical structure of a protein collapse and the randomness of the system increases, thereby entropy also increases. Once again I am repeating, on boiling of an egg, entropy will, what happens? Increases. On boiling of an egg, entropy of a egg, what happens? Increases. Next question, on stretching the rubber band, entropy, what happens? Now, on stretching the rubber, the entropy value decreases. On stretching the rubber, entropy value decreases, because let's suppose this is the rubber, let's suppose this is A and B. Now the rubber is expanded, stretching, that means this is the stretching rubber, stretched rubber, stretched rubber. When the rubber is stretched, what happens? Do you know? Heat energy releases. Heat released during the stretching of a rubber, heat releases. When the heat releases, the Q value negative, yes, Q value negative, so delta S system, we know Q upon T, but the Q value negative, that means the system entropy value, what happens? Decreases. Are you getting my point? This is very, very important. On stretching the rubber, what happens? Entropy of stretching of rubber, what happens? Decreases. During the stretching of a rubber band, it becomes more alignment. This is very important. So here more alignment of, do you know rubber is a natural rubber is a polymer. In the polymer unit changes during the stretching, they become more alignment. More alignment means more order. More orderness means less randomness. That means randomness decreases. So the randomness decreases, entropy also decreases. Remember, during the stretching of a rubber, just now I told you, heat energy releases. That means this will be exothermic process. So the Q value negative, delta S system will be negative or less than 0. Now the reverse one, unstretching rubber, that means relaxed state of rubber. The reverse phenomena, that means heat energy absorbed from the surrounding. When the heat energy absorbed from the surrounding, Q value greater than 0. When the Q value greater than 0, delta system, which is nothing but Q by T, will be greater than 0. That means unstretching rubber, relaxed rubber, entropy increases. During the stretching of a rubber band, entropy decreases. Okay. Now, the next question, that will be the question number 96. Here, a equation is given, H2 plus half O2 gives H2O. Now the reactant H2 and O2, product will be H2O, and their standard molar entropies are given. So this will be superscript 0 corresponding to standard condition. Okay. Now we know in a chemical reaction, which reaction? Chemical reaction, how to find the change in the entropy? Change in the entropy will be equal to sum of the entropy of the products minus sum of the entropy of the reactants. Sum of the entropy of the products minus sum of the entropy of the reactants. Now here delta S will be equal to, what are the product here? Water. So I am writing standard entropy of water, that will be the product, minus of, what are the reactants? H2. So standard entropy of H2 plus how many moles of O2? Half mole. Half mole of standard entropy of O2. Because in the question there is given per mole of each species. So if the stoichiometry is half, so we have to consider half only. Okay. Now what will be the standard entropy of water given here? That will be 69.9. 69.9. That will be 69.9. Okay. Minus of dihydrogen will be given 130.6. and oxygen is given 205. Half mole will be there, half into 205. Okay, by complete simplification you will get the final answer minus 163.2 minus 163.2. That will be the option number 1. Option number 1. Remember, simple explanation, we can say hydrogen combined with oxygen to give what? Water. Now what are the physical states given? Hydrogen gas, oxygen gas, but water will be liquid. Now you see from left to right as we move, what happens? Number of gas particles, number of gas moles decreases. Gas moles, what happens? Decreases. When the number of gas moles decreases, randomness decreases, entropy decreases. That means the change in the entropy value should be negative. Are you getting my point? That means here you see 2 positive options are there and 2 negative options are there. Out of 4 options, at least we can eliminate the 2 options which are positive options. Are you getting my point? Next, question number 97. In this question number 97, the entropy change involved in the isothermal reversible expansion of a 2 moles of a ideal gas from a volume of 10 decimeter cube to a volume of 100 decimeter cube at 27 degrees Celsius. Yes. Now what is the initial volume of a ideal gas is given? 10 decimeter cube, nothing but 10 liter, and final volume will be 100 decimeter cube. How many moles of a ideal gas is given in the question? Number of moles of ideal gas will be 2. What should be the R value we have to take in terms of joule, because in option there is a joule. So 8.314 joule mole inverse Kelvin inverse. What is the change in entropy in isothermal reversible process? That will be Nr ln final volume upon initial volume. Yes or no? So this is the equation. We have to remember the change in entropy. Okay. Now delta S will be equal to N will be number of moles 2 into R value we will substitute in the last. Okay, and ln final volume will be 100, initial volume will be 10. Are you getting my point? So 2 into R into ln 10. Okay, now what I am doing here, 2 into R into the natural logarithm will be converted into the base 10. So this will be 2.303 multiplied by log 10. Do you know log 10 value is equal to 1? So that's why 2 into R into 2.303. Okay. After putting the value of capital R as a 8.314 joule, so you will get the final answer 38.37 joule mole inverse Kelvin inverse. 38.37 is the answer. 38.37. That means the option number 4. Fourth option. Are you getting my point? Now, question number 98. In the question number 98, you see this is a previous competitive exam question. A direct conversion of A to B difficult, hence it is carried out by the following shown path. So A to B, first of all, which path is following here? A to B, then C to D, then D to B, so that we will reach from A to B indirectly, not directly. And what are the entropy changes regarding the path A to C? 50, path C to D 30, and path B to D given, not D to B given, B to D given, that will be the minus 20. And the question is find the entropy change from A to B. Now we know entropy is a state function. What is the entropy? Entropy is a state function. Okay. Now the entropy from A to the entropy change from A to B will be equal to entropy change from A to C plus entropy change from C to D plus entropy change from D to B. Shall I write like this? Because the initial state will be A and the final state will be the B. So that it is a state function, we can use this expression. But in the question, what is the change in entropy along the path A to C 50 plus C to D 30. Remember, this is not the B to D, this is the D to B, but in the question it is given D to B. Shall I take the negative sign and we are interchanging the path D to B? I am writing B to D. Are you getting my point? So minus of minus, now you will get what? Plus 50 plus 30 plus 20. That will be equal to 100 plus 100. Answer will be plus 100. Remember, here what I am doing here, I am changing the path B to D, I am changing the path to D to B. So the value will be changes because it is a state function. If you interchange the state of a system, then the value will changes with opposite sign. Magnitude will be same but opposite sign. Okay. Now it is also question number 99. This is a previous IIT question. Okay. In this question, for a ideal gas, consider the PV diagram. Okay. Now the initial state will be X and the final state will be Z. Okay. Now there are two paths are given along X to Y, Y to Z, otherwise X to Z directly. Okay. Now take the delta S, change in entropy, and W as a work done. Now the question is, choose the correct statements. Okay. First of all, just now I told you entropy is a state function. So change in entropy, if you see, first option X to Z, that means this is X, this is Z. That means shall I write the change in entropy from X to Z is a algebraic sum of the change in entropy of X to Y plus change in entropy Y to Z, because the initial state X and final state Y, here initial state X and final state Y. That means first option is 100% correct option. Now, do you know entropy state function? Entropy is a state function. Entropy is a state function. But work is not a state function. Work is a path dependent function, path function. Okay. So we have to calculate the area under the curve to calculate the work done. Okay. Now W X to Z will be equal to X to Y plus Y to Z. So this is incorrect. Okay. This will be incorrect because it is not valid. It is only valid for state function. Now come to same W X to Y, Y to Z. That means this is the total area. Okay. And W X to Y, this is the total. Now you see here along the path XY there is a work done because it is a isobaric process. Whatever the work done along the YZ 0, YZ value 0. Are you getting my point? Along the work XY value maximum and YZ value 0. So whatever the work done along the XYZ, indirectly shall I write X to Y only, because along the path YZ there is no any work done, because along the path Y, that is along the path Y to Z, that will be isochoric process. During the isochoric process the work done value what? 0. So here the work done value along the Y to Z path, shall I consider 0? So along the path XY only I have to consider the work. So the total work will be the along X to Z. That will be C option is correct. If the A option is correct, then D option will be incorrect. So there are two options are correct, option A and option C. This is a multiple choice question. Okay. Now next question number 100. In the question number 100, if the enthalpy of vaporization of a liquid delta HVX of molar mass 30 gram per mole is 300 joule per gram. Remember here joule per gram is given. Okay. Now boiling point will be 300 Kelvin. Then the molar entropy change for the reversible condensation process. First of all, liquid undergo vaporization. That means liquid give vapor. Okay. What will be the enthalpy of vaporization here? That will be given as a 300 joule per gram. Okay. but enthalpy of vaporization must be always in terms of joule or kilojoule per mole, because in option you see per mole. So that's why what I am doing, what is the molar mass of the liquid? 30 gram per mole. So now what I am doing here, 300 into 30. Okay, so you will get to joule per mole. Are you getting my point? So this is the enthalpy of vaporization. Now what is the delta S? Delta S is equal to delta H V upon T. Just now I explained the phase transition, phase transformation. Okay, now here what will be the delta H value? 300 into 30. And what will be the temperature is given? The temperature is given 300 Kelvin. So overall what will be the enthalpy of vaporization of a liquid? That will be plus 30 joule per mole per Kelvin. Remember, in the question asking condensation process, that means the reverse process. In the backward reaction, that will be the enthalpy, change in entropy during the condensation. Change in entropy during the condensation will be equal to minus 30, because entropy is a state function. If you change the state initial to final or final to initial, then the magnitude will be same but opposite sign. So the answer will be minus 30 joule per mole per Kelvin, because the question is asking for the reversible condensation process. It is not asking for evaporation process. Okay. Now the question number 101. In the question number 101, what is the question? The change in entropy of a 2 moles of a ideal gas upon isothermal expansion at 243.6 Kelvin from 20 liter until the pressure become 1 atm. Remember, initial pressure given, initial volume given, final pressure is given. But we know the formula in terms of V2 V1 or P1 P2. Are you getting my point? So first of all, what I am doing here, number of moles of ideal gas 2 moles, and the temperature value will be 243.6 Kelvin. What will be the initial pressure? We don't know. But initial volume, yes, that will be 20 liters. And final pressure is 1 atm. Do you know the final volume? We don't know the final volume. Now with the help of ideal gas equation, that is PV is equal to nRT, what I am trying to calculating here, P1. So initial pressure P1 I don't know, but initial volume 20 liters, number of moles will be 2, R value 0.0821 liter atm mole inverse Kelvin inverse, and temperature value 243.6. Okay, from here we can find the pressure P1 value, which is equal to 39.99 atm. So approximately I am considering as a 40 atm. So initial pressure we know, final pressure we know. Initial pressure we know, that will be, what is the initial, what is the initial pressure? That will be equal to, just wait, into 20 here, 20 will be there, P1 into 20, it will be equal to 40 atm. So P1 will be equal to 2 atm. The final answer will be 2 atm. What is the P2? 1 atm. So P1, P2 we know. So for our isothermal process, what will be the change in entropy of a system? Nr ln P1 upon P2. Otherwise 2.303 into N into R logarithm of P1 by P2 to the base 10. So 2.303, how many number of moles of ideal gas is there? 2 moles of ideal gas. R value in terms of calorie, so I have to take the R value 2, because in the question R value should be in the given options in terms of calories will be there. So R value I am taking 2 calorie per mole per Kelvin. Okay, into logarithm of initial pressure will be 10, initial pressure will be 2 atm, and final pressure will be 1 atm. Okay, now after complete simplification you will get 2.76 calorie per Kelvin. 2.76 means D option. Okay, Now question number 102. In the question number 102, latent heat of fusion of ice 6 kilojoule per mole, calculate the entropy change. Already we completed this in the phase transformation. Okay, still I am writing here ice converted into water and water converted into ice. This is an equilibrium process. Are you getting my point? What is the latent heat of fusion is given? Latent heat of fusion, so we have to latent heat of fusion of ice is given 6 kilojoule per mole. Actually this is latent heat of not fusion, latent heat of fusion only corresponding to per gram. This is the latent, this is enthalpy of fusion, enthalpy of fusion, that will be 6 kilojoule per mole. Okay, what is the temperature here? 0 degrees Celsius, otherwise 273 Kelvin. Okay, now we know change in entropy will be equal to del H upon T. Okay, del H corresponding to fusion and T corresponding to melting point or freezing point. So what is the enthalpy of fusion? 6 into 1000, I am writing 6000 joules per mole. And what is the temperature here? 273. So roughly we will write answer 22 joule per Kelvin per mole. Are you getting my point? Otherwise, if you want to convert into gram, you can write 1.22 joule per Kelvin per gram. That means divided by molar mass 18. Okay. Now, question number 103. The entropy change for the vaporization of a liquid 109.3 joule per Kelvin per mole. The molar heat of vaporization of liquid. Yes, here liquid and its vapor exist in the equilibrium. Okay. Now at which temperature they are existing, that is to be calculated. And what will be the enthalpy of vaporization of a liquid is given, that will be 40.77 kilojoule per mole. And what is the entropy change of the system is given? Entropy change of a system is given as a 109.3 joule per Kelvin per mole. Are you getting my point? Now delta S will be equal to delta H upon T. Yes or no? Delta H vaporization, T corresponding to boiling temperature. Okay. Now I have to find the T value, that is equal to delta H V, that is enthalpy of vaporization by enthalpy of vaporization, entropy, change in entropy of vaporization. Okay. So the temperature will be equal to, that will be 40.77 into, I am writing kilojoule is equal to 1000 joules divided by change in entropy of the system, that will be the 109.3. Are you getting my point? So this will be 373 Kelvin, otherwise 100 degrees Celsius. Remember, this is which liquid? Water, because the boiling point of water is 100 degrees. Already this question is covered in the phase transition topic. Okay. Now question number 104. In the question number 104, 1 mole of a ideal gas is compressed to half of 1 mole of a ideal gas is compressed to half of its initial volume. Volume become half, and simultaneously it is heated to twice of its initial temperature. That means temperature increases 2 times and volume decreases by, that means volume decreases by 1/2 and temperature increases by 2 times, the change in the entropy value. So directly I am writing the relation between the change in entropy versus temperature and volume, that will be delta S system is equal to NCV ln T2 by T1 plus NR ln V2 upon V1. So here what I am writing here, number of moles 1, CV as it is I am writing. The final temperature become double, so T2 become 2T1, initial temperature is T1 plus number of moles 1 into R into ln, that is a natural logarithm to the base E. Final volume become half, that means V2 become V1 by 2. Already initial volume will be V1. Okay, that means here CV ln 2 and the next part will be R into ln 1 by 2. So ln 1 by 2 shall I write minus ln 2. So CV into ln 2 minus R into ln 2. So here you can take the common natural logarithm 2. So CV minus R into natural logarithm 2. Are you getting my point? CV minus R into natural logarithm 2. This will be the D option. CV M nothing but heat capacity, molar heat capacity at constant volume. That will be the fourth option. Okay. Question number 105. In the question number 105, what is the change in the entropy when the 2.5 moles of a water is heated from 27 to 87 degrees Celsius? Assume the heat capacity constant, that is given CpM H2O 4.2 joule per gram per Kelvin. Remember, ln 12 value given as a 0.18. So directly we can write the formula delta S value equal to NCP ln T2 upon T1. So what is the number of moles of ideal gas given? 2.5. What is the Cp given? 4.2 joule per gram per Kelvin. Remember, we have to multiply with molar mass. Okay, it should be always per mole. Heat capacity should be here per mole. Okay, because here if you see this value given CpM, that is the molar heat capacity, but it is given in terms of grams, but we know the molar mass of water, that will be the 18 into natural logarithm. What is the final temperature? 87 degrees in terms of Kelvin 360, and initial temperature 27 in terms of Kelvin, that will be the 300. Okay, so 2.5 into 4.2 into 18 into natural logarithm value, that will be 1.2. Already ln 1.2 value given in the question 0.18. So 2.5 multiplied by 4.2 into 18 into 0.18. After simplification, the final answer 34.02 joule per Kelvin. 34.02. 34.02, that will be the option number C, third option. Okay. And one more last question, that is the question number 106, that is corresponding to the 1 mole of a helium gas, 2 moles of a neon gas are mixing at constant temperature and pressure. Then find the change in entropy of mixing of these two ideal gases. Of entropy of mixture or mixing of these two ideal gases. We know the total entropy during the mixing of a ideal gases will be equal to two ideal gases minus R into N1 ln x1 plus N2 ln x2, where x1 x2 mole fractions, where N1 N2 number of moles. Okay, now I am writing the minus R as it is. First gas 1 mole ln mole fraction will be 1 by 2, that will be 1 by 3 in case of a first gas, plus second gas moles 2 ln second gas mole fraction will be 2 upon 1 plus 2, that will be 3. Are you getting my point? Now this is equal to minus R into minus ln 3 first one plus 2 into this will be ln 2 minus ln 3, because log of A by B nothing but log A minus log B. Are you getting my point? So minus R minus ln 3 plus 2 ln 2 minus 2 ln 3. So already here minus ln 3 will be there. So minus R into what I am writing here, minus 3 ln 3 plus 2 ln 2. Okay, if you multiply with a minus sign, you will get capital R into 3 ln 3 minus 2 ln 2. Okay, now if you multiply with 2.303, you will get the logarithm to the base 10, that will 3 into log 3 to the base 10 minus 2 into log 2 to the base 10. Okay, so 2.303 R. Do you know log 3 value 0.48? So 3 into 0.48 minus 2 into, do you know log 2 value 0.3? Log 2 value how much? 0.3. Okay, so 2.303 into R, this will be 1.44 minus 0.6. So final answer will be 1.934 capital R. Suppose if you take the capital R value in terms of what calories, you will get 3.869 calorie per Kelvin.
I don't care, listen, got you,